I do think that this is probably the pick of the bunch. Testing's complete and the scores are in, and this is the full review of the Saucony Triumph 23. But before we get into it, if you guys haven't done so already and you want to support that channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And with the specs, so this one is a neutral daily trainer, and it's certainly in that premium category. You're going to be able to pick it up in Australia for $270 or $170 in the US. Now in the weight, pretty lightweight package here, especially for a daily trainer. So only 248 grams or 8.7 ounces. Now that's in my size. This is a US 8.5. And in the stack, 37 in the rear, 27 in the front, and that's going to give us a 10mm drop. Now for the scores, so at $270, it's certainly at that upper end of daily trainers, but as I said, it's in that premium category, and in that category, it's probably one of the lowest. So I think the value here is fair for what you get, 7.5 out of 10. And in the weight, so I am pretty impressed here. So a daily trainer, high build quality, under 250 grams or under 9 ounces, very impressed here, 8.5 out of 10. And in the upper, so the material that they're using here is what they're calling on their website a engineered mesh. But to me, it's a really thick engineered mesh. Obviously the materials in the whole shoe feel quite premium and plush, but the breathability could be a whole lot better in this shoe. Really solid heel counter at the back, nice little Achilles flare here, a plush amount of padding around the heel collar, and a very plush, puffy, padded tongue. Our tongue is also gusseted. Standard eyelets down either side, so just reinforced, really big plush puffy laces. No issues with those coming undone. Midfoot lockdown, excellent. No heel slippage in the back. In the fit, true to size in the length, but with all Saucony shoes, they are narrow in compared to other shoes in the toe box. It's no different here. I don't find the shoe too narrow, but it's just Saucony in general. If you need a little bit of extra room, then probably go for the wide version of this. But I'm going to say true to size, length, normal in the width when in comparison to other Saucony shoes, and the toe box volume is about normal, so no issues. Build quality, excellent. Step-in comfort, amazing. Now for the scores, so this upper is really nice. It's only really got one flaw, and that is its lack of breathability for me. I wish it was a little bit more breathable, but apart from that, it's top quality, super comfortable, 8.5 out of 10. And in the outsole, so the compound that they're using here is that dreaded XT900 rubber that's had all types of issues in the past in the wet conditions. It does say on the website that this XT900 has been improved, and I must say that I will agree with that. It's certainly much better than it used to be. The best feature on the bottom of this shoe is just the rubber placement on the bottom, so how they've got it segmented off. So lots of protection there, but you can see it's not just lathered all over the shoe. It's not overbuilt, perfectly segmented off. I think they've got just the right amount of coverage here, letting the midsole splay, letting it breathe, takes nothing away from the ride, adds durability to the shoe. Over 100 and something Ks in this shoe. Durability is absolutely excellent. Minimal signs of wear on this rubber. And in the grip, as I said before, it has improved. It's still not perfect, but it's a whole lot better than it used to be in those wet conditions. Now with the scores, I'm pretty happy with the improvement in this XT900. So it's not a total disaster, 8 out of 10. And in the midsole, so the foam they're using here is their Power Run PB. Now that is the same foam that you'll see that they use in the Saucony Endorphin Speed and also the Pro. However, this Power Run PB, it's a different formulation. So it's been tuned differently. So it is slightly softer in this version and a little bit more, I guess, accommodating for a daily use. Now it's just one simple design here, just one slab of that Power Run PB, no plate in the shoe. So rigidity wise, it's quite a flexible shoe, and that certainly does translate on the ride. So there's still a little bit of twist there, and as you can see, a little bit flexible in our geometry, a little bit of a forefoot rocker here. So I'm gonna say probably not early, not super late, but there's certainly a nice little bit of curvature there, which you can feel on the run. And in the ride, well, if you watch my first impressions review, you could see that I was quite impressed with the ride. So I described it as having this energetic softness. So has my opinion changed on the ride of this shoe? Well, not really. I think it is still amazing. So it still has that energetic softness about it. Now, what do I mean by that? So this foam is still quite soft. So it's one of the softer daily trainers on the market, but unlike other soft foams on the market, it's got some punch back. So it's got some responsive type energy return, or a springy type energy return. So it's a quicker energy return than what you're going to find with some other foams on the market. Say, for instance, fresh foam in New Balance shoes. So yeah, springy, energetic softness, not mushy, not soggy. Now, it's a very smooth ride as well, because as I demonstrated before, this nice flexible platform there, it just translates into a beautiful smooth ride. The ride is so comfortable, and it's got a nice big wide base, so I find the ride quite stable. But most importantly about this ride, when in comparison to all the other daily trainers on the market, I think it has to be the most fun ride of them all. So yeah, that energetic softness is just right for me, and I absolutely love the ride here. So my favorite daily trainer ride of the year for sure, 9 out of 10. So this shoe's going to be able to tick all the boxes that you would expect from your daily trainer, but it's going to be able to do it in a more fun and pleasurable experience, if you ask me. So perfect for your easy days, those recovery miles. If you want to pick up the pace a little bit, it's still got enough zip in the foam if you want to pick it up a little bit. It's not an overly fast shoe, but it's light enough, it's agile enough. If you want to go up to that tempo pace, it can certainly handle that. I'm also going to give it the tick in the box for the long run as well. So this foam, it actually performs like it's got more cushion in it than what it actually does. This foam, the resiliency of this foam is quite nice. So yeah, big tick there for the long run as well. As I said, just a super comfortable ride. And who is this shoe best for? Well, I think this has to be one of the easiest shoes to recommend to most runners. So most neutral runners out there that don't need a lot of support. Someone's asking for a very reliable, fun, comfortable daily trainer. This would be the first one that comes to mind. Yeah, super easy. I don't know too many runners that will really have too many gripes about it. Maybe if it's a little bit narrow for some people, then you just get the wide version. But apart from the upper being too hot, there's not too many issues going on with this shoe. So some other options out there if you are considering this shoe. First one I'll mention is the Asics Nova Blast 5. So that is a fan favorite with everyone. Nice, soft, bouncy ride. However, I think this ride is softer. It's got more bounce, and I think this foam is going to last longer. It feels more resilient, and I prefer the ride here. It's more fun and it's more energetic. Nova Blast 5 though is a little bit cheaper. Next one I'll mention is the Puma Magnify Nitro 3. So that shoe, very similar stats to this shoe. However, it is cheaper, but the foam in that shoe is much softer than this. It doesn't have as much energy return. It has got a 10mm drop like this shoe, but the 10mm drop in the Magnify actually feels like a proper 10mm drop. This shoe certainly feels flatter, and also it's got more traditional geometry than this shoe. The last shoe that I'll mention is the New Balance 1080 V14. So that is probably the most familiar feeling shoe, I think, to this, especially when it comes to the ride. However, the 1080 has got a lower drop than the Triumph, but the price point is about the same. And just wrapping up the review here, so I do think that this is probably the pick of the bunch, especially in its category, that daily trainer, premium daily trainer range. For me, this is probably the best release of the year, or certainly in terms of the ride. Yes, it's not perfect, but a few little tweaks, this shoe is almost perfect, especially for me. So a runner, my cadence, my weight, this thing is, yeah, it's amazing. Just wish this upper was a little bit more breathable, and they could probably tweak the outsole again and make some improvements there. But overall, as you can see by the scores there, cracked into the 40s. It's an amazing score. It's with some great company there. And just make sure you see where it is in comparison with the leaderboard that I'll put on after the review. So obviously with those scores, with my experience in the shoe, it's 100% buy from me. But anyway guys, that's it from me. Any questions you've got regarding this shoe, how it relates to anything else, hit me up in the comments. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to watch the leaderboard, and we'll see you next time.